Chris Drago, work at Hewlett Packard Enterprise. I lead paid media globally for the company. HPE was formed November 2015 when HP split into two companies. HP printers, PCs, HPE, enterprise, small to medium-sized hardware. We're the #1 server provider in the world, which is a great thing to say in the middle of Dell world. So last year was our first year here. It was our first year as a standalone company. We felt like it was a good place to come and announce our brand and big sort of coming out party, if you will. We partnered with Fast Company last year and sponsored the grill space, and it just gave us a place, a hub, to really showcase what we're up to, what our thoughts of innovation and are for the future. So that was a great phase one. And then phase two, we refined what we wanted to do. We're actually here this year, actually across the street at the Violet Crown Theater. We've produced a documentary. It's not branded content. It's about Angel Hack, a group that we've been partnering with over the last couple years, helping people come together, pitch their ideas to VCs, and hopefully help them get funded. So that was something different, and it thought that for us, we're doing a lot in the branded content space, and thought that South by, given that it's at the Interactive Festival and the Film Festival, we're at a point where those two really overlap. That this would be a good place. We're partnering with CNBC and Recode. Kara Swisher's kicking things off, and she's going to do a panel discussion around new trends in technology, and then that will lead into the screenings, which we're really excited about. So we'll see. It's very new for us, totally unbranded. It could go great, it could not. It's an experiment for us that we'll learn something from.
Cool.
Last year was our first big year of dipping our toe in the water. We had some great work that came out of it. I would say more on the branded content side, where we're going and co-creating content with partners like Bloomberg or Quartz, Sky TV in the UK. And we learned a lot. We wanted to make sure that we were doing something that was authentic to us, but also authentic to the brands that we were working with. They know their audiences best. So we took their cue on what would resonate, but then we really spent time with folks to make sure they understood us and our business, so that whatever we created, we were happy with. But we really take the approach of giving our partners creative license, because again, they know their audience best, and we want to hear from them. So we're going from last year to launch year to this year, where we're continuing to roll out to make sure people know us as a standalone company, but also digging a little bit deeper into the business to make sure that whatever we're creating not only resonates at the awareness level, but that it becomes something that we can actually use to drive demand.
Oh, sure.
And so it's being resourceful, right? And we're paying some money for this. Let's make sure we can get the most out of it. We can use publishers as a distribution arm, but at the end of the day, we own the content. We can publish it across our own channels, so it becomes a win-win. So we'll see. I think the next thing for us is really learning how to monetize it, how to value it. It's pretty easy to value, a CPM as a CPM for an impression, but how do what you're paying it for is what what you really want and what you're getting, with a given publisher. That's something we're spending a little bit more time on.
Cool.
I think sometimes we overcomplicate it, and I think at the end of the day, if the customer is our North Star, that can help guide us. Think about doing fewer things better rather than spreading ourselves out too thin. I think it's easy to get distracted with all the new things that are coming about, and absolutely it's great to sort of keep an eye out to see what we might want to go and test, in an isolated way and learn something from, whether it works or not. But for us, it's really thinking about what's going to engage and ultimately help us develop a relationship with our customer. A lot of people don't know us for who we are, so we have a job to do there. But for those who do, we want to make sure that we're giving them the right thing at the right moment. And so it's keeping an eye out for partners who can help do that for us. Recently we've been doing a lot in the data space and just making sure that we're connecting like our first and third party data. So if there are folks who can help us get more targeted to who we really want to talk to. We're a B2B advertiser, so it's actually a pretty finite group of people that we do want to engage. Very different than a consumer brand. So it's a different kind of challenge. So we want to make sure we're finding those people, but at the same time we have the right thing to say to them.
Got it.
We've definitely learned a lot over the last couple of years. I think the tools are getting better. I still think there's fragmentation in the tools, and it's tough. I think there's a benefit to using multiple tools, but then you get the fragmentation and you get data drop off, and it becomes a bit frustrating at times. So I think it really depends on the advertiser. So I think for us, we've started to, we saw the promise of connecting our first and third party data, so we're building some in-house tools and working with agency partners in order to connect those dots, so that we can then take that and use it as sort of at our competitive advantage. But as we're doing that, it's one thing to have those tools, but it's another thing to make sure that we're doing the right things with them, to make sure we have the right content, to make sure that our web experience and that we're driving people to the right place, and that we're able to continue the discussion. And so for us, yeah, I mean, I think as an industry, we're getting better. But I think for us, I think we're sort of leading the charge when we established ourselves as a new company, where we had to stand up a brand new website, which, to start from scratch and to build from the ground up all of the bells and whistles that we've always dreamt of, and to organize things the right way, we think will help us have a better customer experience in the long run. Okay. We're working with partners like Sprinklr to really see what's going on in social, and how can we then apply that to other areas of our business. How can we apply that to content creation and make sure that we're not just speaking to ourselves, but that we're actually giving our customers what they're asking for organically. So that becomes a great channel for us to learn from. I would say also we're starting to do more in the area of social selling. So looking at social data, looking at social platforms as ways to go out and to continue a customer conversation. We have a huge enterprise business community, which is a place where people come to ask questions and get answers. So it's mining that as an area, and then seeing how we can then connect that to sales to help ultimately close deals. And we've had some great success in the last year in doing that. So I think we'll start. I think social selling is starting to become more of a buzzword, but I think we'll start to see more and more of that as time goes on. Oh, cool. I would say we're not looking to build standalone internal resource. I mean, we do rely on our agencies quite a bit. That said, we need to build up expertise areas. So in the last couple of years, we have built up more of like an editorial type staff, like a chief editor, if you will, for within our brand and advertising organization, and also looking at our .com experience of how are we curating the content to make sure that we're not bombarding the few people that we do want to talk to. So that's definitely been something we've been staffing up on. On my team, ad tech and analytics. I have been two of my best hires in the last 2 years. Someone who used to lead ad tech and analytics at an agency, brought him in-house first as an analytics role, but then said, wow, based on what he knows, he actually can do more of a broad-based planning function. And so, and then ad tech as well, making sure that we're staying on top of what we need to in the area of privacy and transparency. So we have those expertise. We're able to lead that, but still have the worker bees and within the agency, because we just don't have the ability to staff up. And I think that for me, it's breaking down the silos and connecting the dots across our marketing activities. We think about sort of brand to demand, right? What's the full mix that's really going to be the optimal experience for anyone who wants to talk to us. So that's something I think a lot about, and using data to help inform that piece of it, so that we can figure out where is someone in the purchase cycle, how do they want to engage with us, and then giving them the right message in order to do that. So for me, that's one big thing. The other thing is just making it simple. It's like, let's not overcomplicate. As I said, earlier, it's about let the customer in the middle and just thinking about what's going to be best for her, and we build a great program, more of an always-on type experience for folks, so that no matter when they want to come in and talk to us, we're there.